Alright, welcome back everybody. There's another little update. It's been a few weeks since my last one here. We'll start off on the porch here with my DWC buckets here. Got the jalapenos. It's got a bunch of jalapenos on them. Pretty good size. I think I'm gonna take these off today. Maybe make me some little jalapeno poppers. And find me a recipe on the internet. I don't know how I never made them before. Also, somehow I don't know if it was the dogs or when. Might have been the dogs. So the dog likes to chase around the lizards and stuff. But one of my bell pepper plants got broken here. So I took all the bell peppers that it currently had on it. They're supposed to be yellow ones, but ain't let them start turning colors yet. So I just used what I had, which were the green ones. Chopped them up and made some chili the other night. There's another one here. It's still going. I didn't think about these peppers needed to be staked up, so I'm not exactly sure how do I stake up these here in a bucket. I've seen some ideas on the internet. I just haven't actually implemented any of them. But it's got a couple of decent sized bell peppers. I believe these here are supposed to be red. I just got them leaning up against the window for right now. They're pretty good size though. Another one over here. So I got to come up with a plan to help stake those up. Over here in the garden area, I got hit with some nematodes in one of my garden beds, so everything is looking pretty scarce over there. But these peppers, I've been taking a bunch of peppers off of here. I have them in a jar with some vinegar. Just let them sit in that jar and that vinegar absorb that pepper flavor. That's real good for putting on some string beans or collard greens, things of that nature. Seems like as soon as I start pulling a bunch of green ones off of here, the ones I didn't pull off started to turn red. This looks pretty neat. Also, for some reason I was under the impression that these were the same plants, but I guess they're not. If you notice here, these are growing upward, whereas these peppers over here are growing down. Also, these are a little more like a cone shape, like a jalapeno shape. These here are a little bit more round. These here kind of remind me of almost like the old school Christmas lights a little bit, just a little smaller. But they're both pretty hot. I still don't know what any of them are, but I keep picking them off and giving them away to people who wants them. Got we've been getting a lot of rain here lately. We had another tropical storm they had up in the Gulf earlier this week, middle of this week, whenever it was. But we've been getting a lot of rain here. So with all this rainwater been hitting on the sapodilla, it had a little growth spurt here. So that's still plugging along. I'm real impressed with this pepper here. I'm hoping this is Scotch bonnet. I thought it was dead, but it started. I just repotted it. All the leaves fell off of it, and I thought it was doomed, but all of a sudden it just came back to life. So it's some type of pepper. I mean, it's got a bunch of little flowers on it. They have yet to bear any fruit, but I'm hoping it's a Scotch bonnet. Then you got my graveyard over here. Those are the marigolds. I don't really care too much for them. I just really bought them because I wanted the pots and the little plastic tray that came with it. Here's I think this is cilantro. Yeah, that's a cilantro I never planted in the ground. A basil here ended up going to seed, and I kind of stopped paying any attention to it because I picked all the radishes out of here. And most of these onions, I'll be probably taking these in the house today. Pulled them out the ground and let them just kind of sit here for a while. But I'm gonna take those in today. There go some green onions here. It's been growing up pretty good, but this basil went to seed, and this is what happened last time because I wasn't paying attention to keeping up with it. All the seeds and fell down into the box, so now all them little green spots are going to be new basil plants. So I might get, I know a couple of people are starting to get into gardening and stuff. I might see if they want some, give them to them if they would like to have some. Here's that one on the ground here. I know I mentioned this one earlier in one of my first videos. One of the seeds must have just blew on the ground and started growing. There it is there. It's getting on up there. It looks pretty healthy. I don't do nothing to it. I just figured the dogs would have chewed it up or something by now, but I guess they want to keep it around. Especially this one right here. This is my little case 39 here. She's always tearing up something. She looks sweet and innocent. Don't be fooled. Let's see. Look at my other bell peppers. I took a bunch off the other day. There's a nice one here. Pretty good size. I think this is supposed to be yellow. Yeah, it's supposed to be a yellow one. I've yet to have any of them actually turn red or yellow. A couple of these end up having some little black spots on them at the bottom. So I didn't want to jeopardize losing the whole fruit. So I just cut it off and use it as a green pepper. So hopefully these here keep growing good like they are. Hopefully they'll turn yellow or red or whatever they're supposed to be. I think these are 2 greens and then 2 yellows. Here's my last box here. I'm not sure if I showed this on my last video. I think I might have, but it's all built up full of dirt. I just haven't got, I got seeds started on the inside. I got some collard greens. I got some more cucumbers. I'm gonna try eggplant. I mean, it's starting to get pretty hot into the summer here. Usually around middle to late July into August, it's pretty hot down here. So we'll see what happens. Either they'll work or not. I got this on a watering timer, so I can just up the watering schedule here to accommodate for the heat. Hopefully, I might do something for like a little shade cloth. See, that might help. More of an experiment, I guess. As you can see, I pretty much cleaned this bed out here. Cleaned all the cucumbers. This is the one where the nematodes are the worst in. I believe that's what they ended up stunting the cucumbers, because they was growing real good. I had a bunch of them on there, but they ended up just being like a real yellow color, not so much as green. I mean, they were still good. Wasn't nothing wrong with them as far as taste. They just, I guess the plants weren't getting all the nutrients because of the nematodes screwing up the root system. But all I have left here is I got a few onions. I got that marigold just kind of hanging in there. And here's a squash, yellow squash. And but the broccoli, I took the broccoli out. I don't think they messed with the broccoli. Seemed like the roots on the broccoli was good, but those beans, those Blue Lake 274s, I believe they were. I mean, the roots look real bad, and then the cucumbers, I mean, they was awful. So I had a couple ideas I'm gonna try to see if I can get rid of them. If all else fails, I just have to do the I believe they call it solarization. I just mix in some fresh compost, and then I just cover the whole thing with some black plastic. I figured it'd be a few weeks anyway. Should be about a month. Probably about another month before I can plant out my seeds anyway, the seedlings that I got growing inside the house. So that way, give myself about 4 to 6 weeks with the black plastic on it, cooking the bed. Apparently that's a pretty good method of getting rid of them, but unfortunately you kill the good along with the bad, so you have to start over building up the soil again. But that's the game plan as of right now. Same thing was here. This had a bunch of broccoli in it. I took all the broccoli heads off. I took the leaves off. I cut those up. I got them in the freezer. I'm gonna cook them like you do collard greens. They taste, I really don't notice a difference. I had a guy at work brought some in for me. He told me about it. I never heard of it. I thought he was just pulling my leg, but he brought some in. I tell you what, I couldn't tell the difference. So no sense in throwing something away if it's edible. So that's where all the broccoli that was in here went. Still got one more marigold in this one, and I got two squash. It's got a couple of squash plants, fruits on them, but I believe this one had a little slight nematode infection in it. I don't think it wasn't as bad as this other one over here. And then so I'll probably end up covering this one up too if I don't start getting more fruit from these plants here, because one of them looks real good. The other one looks a little. This one here don't look too. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Okay, it's the other one over there. Looks kind of rough. This one here looks real good on the end, but the part coming out the ground ain't really got nothing going on. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But over here is where really all the action's been going on with these those jelly bean tomatoes. There's only 3 plants, but man, they kind of, I mean, they just exploded. They're all over the place. I mean, they produce a lot of fruit. Also have some bell pepper mixed in here. I think this is a red one here. It's supposed to be a red one. I put a little tomato cage to help support it. There's another one here, and I believe there's one more. Yeah, there's one more back there in the back. So I got 3 bell peppers in here. Got the 3 jelly bean tomatoes, and they produce a lot of fruit. I saved those little margarine tubs of, little tubs of butter you get, the margarine. I saved those, and I got one slap full of tomatoes. I can't eat them fast enough. So I think next time I'm not going to do 3 of them. I might just do 2, or maybe find somebody who wants some, and welcome to have some if they want them. But I keep pulling. I think the damn squirrels is taking a liking to them too. There's a bunch of them down there. It looks like they've been munching on them. So I try to come out here and get them before they turn really bright red, because when they're green, they're kind of really hard to see. They blend in pretty good, obviously, but so I try to get them like when they're like this right here. I mean, they just kind of pick right off. And man, they are good, buddy. Oh yeah. And then we got these are Florida 91s here. They're a bigger tomato. It's got quite a few. I mean, none of them actually turned. None of them ripened yet. I got some pretty good size ones on there. I think the bigger ones are kind of hid in there. Really kind of hard to see. But I'm really impressed with these. So. And I got that squash plant. That ain't doing too hot. I probably end up taking this one out too. I never had any luck with squash. Squash is supposed to be so easy, and I seem to struggle with those. It's kind of sad because I really like squash too. Get that squash and dice up some onions in there with some butter. Saute them in a skillet. And of course I got my okra. These okra are real impressive too. They're real easy to grow. They got a real good looking flower that they produce. I think it's kind of yellowish white looking color with a red maroon center to it. But I took a bunch of okra off of here as well. I don't know if I can get any good shots of this. I like to take them off when they get before they get too big. The bigger they get, the tougher they are. So probably tomorrow that one will be coming off. Have to work. More tomatoes all over the place. I guess it's better. You can see those tomatoes and big tomatoes here a little bit better. That's one right there. There's another one. There's an okra here that's ready to come off. That's right. There's another one up there. They produce. Oh, here's that flower I was telling you about. I guess it's going the other way. I'll walk around the other side, take a shot of it. But yeah, but they produce a lot of okra. I think this is called crimson. I can't remember the name of it. A little thing there. But yeah, this is my best box I got going on right here. Everything seems to be doing pretty well. I want to we had them high winds here last week, so I had to kind of rig up some string here to the fence to support this little cage here. I really like this cage because you can reconfigure it. It's not just like those metal ones where you just kind of stuck with what you have. This one here, you can expand it. You can change the shape of it and configuration. The only problem is it's not real tall. So I think the stakes are about, well, the stakes are about 5 feet, 6 or 5 feet. No, I guess not quite 6 foot. It's right here. It's about 5.5 feet or so. But I mean, it's a pretty tall. They're a lot taller than any of those round cone-looking metal cages that's real popular. That's been around forever. But these tomatoes here, they just way outgrew it, and they're all coming up and bending over that way. Then we had those good winds and stuff, so one of them ended up getting broken. But it's still green. It hasn't completely died off yet, so I just left it alone. That's pretty much like this whole section right here is that one. Like I said, it's still growing. It's still producing fruit, so I'm just gonna leave it alone until it dies on its own or gets out of hand or something. It's that okra flower I was telling you about. I think that's a pretty neat looking flower. Kind of a yellowish color. Got that deep red, maroon, whatever color it is in the middle. And then and they grow pretty fast. I mean, they'll drop that flower off probably tomorrow. It'll fall off. And then in a couple of days, I have an okra I can pick from there. Alright, I guess that's it for this week's little update. I'm not sure if I might be a while before I do my next one, being that I don't have any really anything besides these tomatoes and bell peppers and onions growing. I guess if anything major changes, I'll do a video, but I'll probably wait till I replant these 2 boxes here, which will probably be in probably a month, maybe 6 weeks or so. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, and stay blessed.